Hi, and welcome to Distinct Authors Talking Publishing. I'm Patricia Bates, historical romance author, and welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between writing as a hobby and writing as a full-time career to make money. So let's start off with writing as a hobby. Now, if you really enjoy writing and you do it, and it's not something that you are really looking to share with others, it may be a hobby for you. Now, there are a lot of writers too that do write as a hobby and they publish their work, but it's not geared towards, making a consistent living off of it. And that's fine. Really understanding, though, what you want out of your writing is the key here. Now, if you're just writing for yourself or you're writing for, just to get your ideas down, then fantastic. That's wonderful. But if you're looking to do writing as a career, there are a few things that you're going to need to understand, and there's a few things that you really do need to be aware of that are geared towards helping you develop those skills and really actually making it into a career. Now, there are a lot of authors that I know, and myself included, who have day jobs. We write consistently, but we also work an 8-hour day, 5 days a week, and it is a balancing act because we're in that phase where we're working towards building an identity and building a career, but it hasn't crossed that line yet where it's something that we can just say, no, this is what we're going to do for the remainder of our careers and until we retire. So, when you're looking at hobbies, they're wonderful. Everyone's got them, and writing as a hobby can be very therapeutic, very relaxing, and really allow you to explore different options and different creative pathways. When you're working as a writer as a career, however, it's a little bit different because you have to understand that the only way you're going to make money off of it is actually if you make sales. So there's a few things that you need to understand when it comes to writing as a career. The first one is, it is a career. It is something that you are going to have to dedicate time to, and it's really something that you have to be aware is not going to be something that you can just kind of put on the back burner. You need to focus on it when you are doing it. Now, when you're working a full-time job and you're writing as a career and you're trying to build it up so that you can actually have a consistent payday every 3 months or however your royalties are allocated, it's very difficult to juggle everything because we all have commitments outside of writing. So one of the things that I have learned over the course of the last decade or so when I'm writing is to really create a schedule where I specifically set aside time to write, whether it's on a current project, revisions, whatever it is having that consistent time frame where you can sit down and do nothing but write is immensely helpful. The second thing that I've also learned when it comes to writing as a career is asking yourself the hard question of, what do I want out of my writing? Do I want it to just, am I just writing to get published and put it out there, and if I make sales, fantastic. If I don't, that's okay too. Or is it something where you're actually looking at it going, okay, well, I need to be making money off this to pay my water bill and my hydro bill and so on and so forth. So having that understanding and really being honest with yourself is one of the more important aspects of understanding whether you're writing as a hobby or writing as a career. Now, the other part of it too is that when you're doing that is setting realistic goals, setting boundaries, and setting deadlines. So when you're setting your goals, one of the things that I've done over the last number of years is set myself a word count goal per day. So if I say this day is going to be 500 words and I get 1,000, fantastic. Does it affect tomorrow's word count goal? No. If I get the 500, that's fantastic. If I don't, I really try to push myself to get it, but sometimes it's, if you just don't, you don't. So you have to be realistic with your goals, but you don't want to be to the point where you are setting yourself up to just be discouraged and to be really negative in those goals. So set realistic goals. Set realistic deadlines. If you're working on a 100,000 word book, you are not going to sit down and say, well, I'm going to have it done in 30 days, and then I'm going to have it set aside for 2 weeks and do revisions and have it ready for publishing within 3 months of writing it and finishing it. That's not realistic. First of all, to do 100,000 words in a month, you're looking at over 3,000 words per day. Now, if you can do 3,000 words a day, great. But if you are working a full-time job and you've got kids, you've got a life outside of writing, and perhaps you don't have a consistent writing schedule, it can be difficult, especially when you factor in things like writer's block and other commitments, things that have popped up that interfere with your writing. So having that realistic deadlines, realistic goals is really good. Now, one of the things that I have learned over the course of my writing career is when you're setting your realistic deadlines, is to really understand how long you want to take to write the book, how long you want to leave it for revisions, how long you want to, what the process is going to be, whether you're going to be traditionally publishing it, self-publishing it, etc. And you also want to make sure that you understand how many books per year that you actually want to be getting out. If you're looking at one book a year, that's fantastic. You can take your time. But if you're looking at getting 3 or 4 or 5 books out in a year, that is a lot more work and a lot more intensity in those goals, those deadlines that you need to set forward, and really understanding what that is and what that's going to look like is very important. Now, one of the things that I have done is I've actually created a spreadsheet that I use that outlines my goals for the day, the week, the month, my revision goals, and so on and so forth. And I will actually be making that available to you if you would like a copy of it. I will have a link for it into the description box down below. You may have to copy and paste it into your browser to access it. It is a Google Doc, so you can download it, just save it as a new file, and away you go. It's completely customizable. And so now you've got your goals, you've got your deadlines organized in your head, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. So now it comes down to setting yourself up for success and understanding what you want to do and how you want to do it. Now, being realistic with yourself is important. Being honest with yourself is important, and understanding that there are going to be days when you're just not going to get any writing done because of outside commitments. So it's really important that you do not take and blame yourself if you do not reach your goals. There's always tomorrow. You can always do it. Now, if your deadline is 3 months to get a book written, edited, and out there because you have 5 books to put out this year, really having an understanding of how you can do that is going to be the biggest benefit for you, to really look past those roadblocks that you may encounter. And having something written down that's consistent, that is quantifiable, is immensely helpful. So when you're looking at all of those factors, there is a big difference between a hobby writer and a career writer. And the career writer is the one that's got all of these things organized, that's putting out numerous books a year, that's looking at all of these different things, that is gearing up towards understanding how much money that they need to be making every royalty payment, so that they can make sure that they're paying their bills, etc. And that's another factor when you're looking at that. You need to understand, if you're looking at it as a career, exactly how much money you need to be making every time you get a royalty check, so that you can make sure your mortgage is paid, your grocery bill is paid, your food, your gas, etc. Is all done. Because if you don't, then you're struggling, and it can really impact your creativity as well. So being aware of those things is huge and works towards having success for yourself. Now, if you have any suggestions or tips that you have found to really help you be successful and figure out which avenue you want to take, whether it's just a hobby or whether it's, a career, then it's really helpful. Post them down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys, and we will chat with you soon.